Also, Congressman Mark Pocan is with us for the hour. He of the co-chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus and representing the 2nd District of Wisconsin. Pocan, Pocan.house.gov, and you can tweet him at Rep, R-E-P, Mark, M-A-R-K, Pocan, Pocan. Congressman, welcome back.
Hey, thanks, Tom. Glad to be here.
It's great having you with us. Our building is doing a fire alarm drill right now, which I don't think we're supposed to ignore, but we're going to. I don't know if it's picking up any of the noise in the background. If it does, my apologies. But we were talking, you and I, on the phone just before we went on the air about this news story that just came out that the Trump administration is going to, these are my words, not theirs, but basically try to break the Social Security Administration so that they can say, hey, look, it's broken. Let's just privatize it. Let's give it off to the Wall Street billionaires. A 25% staffing cut, roughly, at the Social Security Administration. This is mind-boggling.
When you look at what programs people say they value the most, Social Security and Medicare are on the top of the list. And to go and try to do whatever you can to get rid of this program, it's bad enough that Paul Ryan continually introduces proposal after proposal to privatize Social Security, to make it a casino with your money. But now to watch them do this, let's also remember that they're down about 10% in staffing levels from 2011, and they've got a backlog of over 1 million disability claims right now. So, people already are waiting. I think it's like an average of 16 minutes on the phone to connect with someone. To do a cut like that is going to do exactly what you said. It's going to try to make the program not work and be ineffective, and then they can go, oh, look, see, we've been saying all along we've got to fix this. And, it's unfortunately part and parcel to what we've seen. And this isn't just under Donald Trump, unfortunately. This has been going on for quite a while with the Republicans.
Yeah, tragically. Republicans have hated Social Security ever since it was put into law in the 1930s. It's just been their kind of default mode. I noticed Paul Ryan, your nemesis and colleague and the guy who represents the district that you were born in, right next door to yours, there in Wisconsin, held his first press conference or his first town hall in 2 years, was it, this week?
Actually, it's Monday night, and it's
going to be
really
next week.
A town hall. So a town hall, as I've always understood them, and I've been doing this for 23 years, is you open it up to whoever wants to come. You listen to people unhindered. You let them have their say, and you have a conversation, answer questions. This is something that CNN is putting on, so it's really more of a media event. People had to say, who they are to come in to get allowed to even be there. They're picking the people, and then even you have to say what political party you are, because I think they're going to go back and forth on questions. So it's a media event, and he's going to answer some questions, but I don't know if I'd quite call it a public town hall. I think it's been over 670 or 80 days since he's actually done one of those. So
it's basically just a media event. Amazing.
Yeah, and he's trying to bill it as a town hall. And again, I've done 4 real town halls in his district. Anyone can come. I listen to anyone about their concerns. That's what we generally do in a public town hall, and he's trying to kind of rewrite what those are because he's not willing to have that open conversation with his constituents.
Yeah. I'm curious your thoughts. It's been quite a week since we last spoke. The Charlottesville thing happened. Trump. It's the same. It's moral equivalence. No, it's not. Yes, it is. A lot has gone on in this last week, and I got a kind of a funny email this morning from a friend of mine. It's a little poster. It says, "Dear God, if you want us to impeach Trump, please give us a sign, like blot out the sun anytime in the next week. Thanks, Americans." Now we're hearing, this morning, Joe Scarborough was talking about, Trump should resign, that he doesn't have the mental faculties that he had even a decade ago. It seems to me like the worm is turning, that Republicans are there's some pressure starting to build because they realize that this guy his craziness is impeding their ability to get tax cuts for billionaires and screw people on Social Security and Medicare, which is like such a high priority for the Republicans that I think they're willing to throw Trump out if he's going to block them from doing that.
Well, in two fronts. One has been this just, rock bottom week, I think, of him defending white supremacists and Nazis and going back and forth. And then when he gets to really express himself, you saw what he really believes. That's unconscionable for someone who's the president or any kind of major elected office. I mean, that alone, I think when people start talking about the 25th Amendment, is he actually capable to be president? I think that's the real debate right now that people should be having. And, I give Senator Corker credit, for being one of the few to actually say that on the Republican side of the aisle, that, they're really questioning whether or not this person is capable. I saw Al Gore say that he should resign. So that's part of it. But then also, like you said, on the business side, his business councils, he had to get rid of them because so many people were leaving them. They were going to leave en masse on one of them, so he just got rid of them. Now he's not doing an infrastructure council that he was going to do. So what we're finding is maybe the key point this week is when that wing of the Republican Party, which is still a big chunk of the Republican Party, that more traditional business, wing of the party, if they're starting to turn away, that might be what we needed. We needed someone to take, some major entity within the Republican Party to take that first break, and this might be it.
What's so amazing to me, Congressman, is that the Council of Evangelicals has not lost a single person. Now, these are the people who are supposed to be representing moral authority. The reality is many of them, I would argue probably most of them, are actually just superstars in the business of religion and in many cases running wildly profitable, although being nonprofits, you call it a fund balance or you pay it out in high salaries, but wildly profitable megachurches. Any thoughts on why it is that none of the so-called conservative Christian evangelicals, end quote, have left Trump?
Well, I think of that upper echelon, like you said, I mean, these are folks who live rather extravagant lifestyles, many of them, because of the profits that they make, even though they are a nonprofit through, their churches. But I think the difference is, for many people, they're all waiting for their issue they care most about, that they want to, they kind of put up with this guy so that they can continue to have anti-choice policies or whatever it is that their issue that they kind of advocate for. So everyone's kind of put up with this guy for a long time. I just think when, something is as outrageous as there are very fine people who happen to be Nazis or white supremacists, at that point you kind of need to say something. And the fact that they're not the first one, I give the business community credit. They were the first major constituency of the Republican Party to say, no, we can't stand by this. And I think that may just be that catalyst we need to get others to now be able to stand up and show they have a spine. But, it's pretty bad when people who proclaim to have the moral authority don't use it. It would be nice if they would actually do their job.
Yeah, whose health care would Jesus cut?
Exactly.
But I'm wondering if, you took a kind of non-cynical point of view on it. My totally cynical point of view on it is that the business guys looked at this and said, this guy is such a mess. He's a walking, it's like Pigpen from the old Peanuts comic strip. He's a walking dust cloud, and that he has now pretty much eliminated the possibility that we're going to get the tax cuts. And he's already got Scott Pruitt doing the deregulation, and he's already got Ryan Zinke, selling off, federal lands and things. So we're getting what we want in that regard. But with regard to the other things, the big tax cuts that we were hoping for, screw it. It's not worth the trouble. Whereas the evangelicals are still hoping that the Johnson Amendment will go away, that they'll be able to nakedly involve themselves in politics. And I think Trump, didn't he sign an executive order or something to that effect in the last day or two? Yeah,
he's done some movement on it. And, I think I know what you're saying on the cynical versus non-cynical. I mean, I just look at, I think for the business community, not only could this affect their ability to get the tax breaks done, but also they're getting a lot of pressure from people saying, you can't be a part of this council. We won't do business with you, right? There also was that profit side I think they had to face. But the fact that, again, if they're the first major constituency within the Republican Party, in this case, I think they deserve some credit. And, it's ironic it wasn't the so-called moral portion of their party to stand up for morality, but we'll take what we can get because I think it's